Cryptocurrency is money that exists purely as digital records, secured by cryptography and tracked on a shared ledger that no single company or government controls. This is Chapter 1 of the Crypto module, and everything here is education rather than advice. Digital money on a shared, decentralized ledger with no bank in the middle. What is cryptocurrency? Two ways money moves. The traditional route on one side, a peer-to-peer network on the other. The divider separates them. Start with the traditional side. There is the payer. In the middle sits the bank. The bank keeps the master ledger. And on the far side, the payee. The arrows trace the flow through the bank, and the payment travels in along them. Now the network side. The nodes each hold a copy of the ledger. The edges connect them into a mesh. Here is the payer on the network, and here is the payee. The highlighted route runs straight from one to the other, with the payment traveling peer-to-peer along it. And a padlock marks that it is secured by cryptography. Traditional payments route through a bank that keeps the master ledger, while crypto moves peer-to-peer. Cryptocurrency is digital money on a shared, decentralized ledger, no bank in the middle. That shift, from trusting an institution to trusting an open network, is the whole idea. So what does decentralized actually mean? No single company keeps the master list, the whole network does. Digital, decentralized money. The divider splits the two models, centralized on one side, decentralized on the other. Start centralized. There is the central bank node. It is labeled as the bank. On top of it sits the master list. Around it sit the user nodes. And the spokes run from the bank out to each user. Now decentralized. The peer nodes each hold an identical ledger copy. The links connect them to each other. And the label names them identical copies. The side notes explain both. One owner keeps the master list, and you trust them, against thousands of copies where consensus keeps them in sync with no single owner. Same records, two ways to keep them, one trusted hub, or a network of equal peers. A bank holds the one ledger, and you trust it, while crypto spreads matching copies across the network. Because thousands of copies exist, no one can quietly rewrite the past or print extra coins without the network noticing. That also means there is often no customer service line to call, and no one to reverse a mistake. The technology that makes it work has a name. Transactions are bundled into blocks and chained in order. The blockchain is the shared ledger. It runs from the genesis block, append only, oldest to newest, out to the newest block. Here is block 1, holding its transactions and its own hash. Then block 2, carrying the previous block's hash and its own. The link joins them. Block 3 follows the same pattern. Another link joins that. And block 4 completes the chain. The last link closes it. Each block bundles recent transactions and links to the one before it. So changing an old block breaks everything after. Blocks are append only. Each stores the previous block's hash. So rewriting history means redoing every link. Picture a shared notebook that records transactions in groups. When a group fills up, it is sealed and linked to the one before it, forming a chain stretching back to the very first entry. 3 properties follow. It is distributed, so there is no single point of failure. It is append only, so you can add new blocks but not quietly edit old ones. And on public blockchains it is transparent, because anyone can inspect every transaction, though the identities behind addresses are not directly named. So how does a payment actually travel? From your wallet to a confirmed block in a few steps. How a transaction works. You send at one end, the transaction lifecycle runs across, and they receive at the other. Step 1 is the wallet, where you enter the address and the amount. Step 2 is signing with your private key. Step 3 is broadcasting it to the network. Step 4 is validation, where it gets added to a block. And step 5 is confirmed, where the balance updates. The arrows connect each step to the next. Each step hands off to the next. Enter, sign, broadcast, validate, then confirm. A payment is a signed message to the network, and once a block confirms it, the transfer is final. Signing proves you have the right to spend those funds without revealing the key itself. Once broadcast, it waits with other pending transactions until it is gathered into a candidate block. As more blocks pile on top, reversing it becomes harder, and for everyday purposes a handful of confirmations is treated as final. 2 features stand out. There is no central approver deciding yes or no, and once confirmed the transaction is effectively permanent. Send funds to the wrong address, and there is usually no way to claw them back. All of it rests on a pair of keys. Share the public address to receive, and guard the private key that spends. Public and private keys. There are 2 of them, the public key or address, and the private key. Take the public one first. The share icon marks it. It is like an account number, shared freely so people can pay you. Here is a sample receiving address, marked to share. And the note confirms it is safe to share because it is used to receive coins and reveals nothing secret. Now the private key. The padlock marks it. It is like a secret password, and it signs and authorizes every spend. Here is a placeholder, and that one on screen is a deliberately fake example, marked to hide. Its note is blunt. Never share it, because whoever holds it owns the coins. And the arrow shows the public key is derived from the private key, one way only. The address is safe to hand out, and the private key is the one secret that must never leave your hands. Share the public address to get paid, and guard the private key. No one can reset a private key for you, and there is no forgot password link on the blockchain. One risk worth stating plainly. If someone gets your private key or recovery phrase, they can drain your wallet instantly and irreversibly, and any scam asking for a recovery phrase is fraud, because no legitimate service ever needs it. So how does this differ from ordinary money? The real contrasts are control, supply, hours, and reversibility. Crypto against traditional money. What you compare, side by side, in 5 key rows. The columns are headed traditional money and crypto. The dividers separate them, and the separators split the rows. Row 1 is control. A bank controls it, against you controlling it with keys. Row 2 is supply, printed at discretion, against often fixed or coded rules. Row 3 is hours, business hours with delays, against open around the clock in minutes. Row 4 is reversibility, reversible with chargebacks, against usually irreversible. And row 5 is the middleman, a trusted intermediary, against peer-to-peer with no middleman. The coloring marks the legacy trade-off against what changes when you hold your own keys. Same job, different rules. Crypto swaps a trusted middleman for keys, code, and constant settlement. Your bank balance is already digital, so the differences run deeper than that. A bank can freeze an account or refuse service, while a self-custodied wallet answers only to whoever holds the key. That cuts both ways. There is promise here, and there are real caveats. Real promise on one side, real risks on the other. Why it matters, and the honest caveats. The divider splits them, why it matters, against honest caveats. On the left, the promise. Value moves across the internet with no trusted middleman needed, borderless and fast. On the right, the caveats. It is highly volatile with prices that swing hard and fast. Scams and fraud are common, so skepticism is warranted, and mistakes are unforgiving. Weigh both columns, because the promise is real and so are the risks. Crypto can move value freely and openly, and it is also volatile, scam-prone, and unforgiving of mistakes. For people in places with unstable currencies or limited banking, the promise can be genuinely meaningful, and the underlying idea has spread well beyond money. But the honest picture includes serious downsides. Coins can lose most of their value quickly. The lack of a middleman means the lack of protection, with no chargebacks, no deposit insurance, and no one to undo a hack or a mistyped address. Regulation is still taking shape. Treat this as education rather than advice, because crypto is a high-risk area, and understanding how it works is the first step toward deciding whether it belongs anywhere in your thinking at all. Next, we look at how it got here. You just finished Chapter 1 of the crypto module. Cryptocurrency is digital money on a shared decentralized ledger. The blockchain chains blocks, so old history cannot be quietly rewritten. A payment is a signed message that becomes final once confirmed. The private key is the one secret that must never be shared, and the real contrasts with ordinary money are control, supply, hours, and reversibility. Crypto is a high-risk area, so this is education rather than financial advice. Thank you for watching Trendly Lab. Next up, the history of cryptocurrency, from the cypherpunks onward.